Today, we delve into Neville Goddard's teachings to uncover these detrimental habits and how to overcome them. Firstly, let's understand the essence of Neville's teachings, the power of assumption. Neville emphasized that our assumptions, our beliefs about ourselves and the world, shape our reality. Every moment, whether consciously or unconsciously, we are assuming something. This assumption, fueled by our feelings and imagination, creates our experiences. Yet, many of us fall into the trap of habitual thinking. We replay the same scenarios in our minds, dwell on past disappointments, and project them onto our future. This habitual thinking keeps us stuck in a loop, unable to break free and manifest our desires. One such habit is the reluctance to step out of our comfort zones. Neville stressed the importance of expanding our horizons, of embracing new experiences. Staying within the confines of familiarity stifles our creativity and limits our manifestations. We must be willing to explore, to venture into the unknown, for it is there that we find inspiration and growth. Have you ever noticed how noisy our minds can be? It's like there's a constant chatter going on, and most of the time, it's not very nice. These thoughts, they're always there, buzzing around in our heads, telling us all sorts of negative things. But here's the thing, these thoughts, they're not just harmless little whispers. They actually have a big impact on our lives. Neville knew all about this. He talked a lot about how our thoughts shape our reality. If we're always thinking negative things, then guess what? Our reality is going to be pretty negative too. But Neville had a solution: moments of silence. Now I know what you're thinking. Moments of silence? That sounds boring! But hear me out. These moments of silence, they're actually really powerful. They're like a reset button for our minds. They give us a chance to step back from all the noise and tap into our true power. So how do we do it? Well, there are a few different ways. One way is through meditation. This is where we sit quietly and focus on our breath or a specific word or phrase. It might sound simple, but it's actually really effective. It helps us quiet the mental chatter and find a sense of peace within ourselves. Another way is simply by sitting in quiet contemplation. This is where we take a few minutes to just be still and listen to the sounds around us. We might close our eyes and focus on the sensations in our body, or we might just let our minds wander wherever they want to go. The key is to let go of the need to control our thoughts, and just be present in the moment. Now, I won't lie to you, this can be really hard at first. Our minds are so used to being busy all the time that they don't know how to switch off. But the more we practice, the easier it gets. And the more we silence the mental chatter, the more we align ourselves with our desires. You see, when our minds are constantly buzzing with negative thoughts, it's hard for us to focus on what we really want. But when we take the time to quiet our minds, we create space for our desires to come through. We become more in tune with ourselves and more open to receiving the things we truly want. Neville had this powerful idea he called living in the end. It's all about how we think about our desires. Instead of getting stuck in where we are right now, Neville said we should focus on where we want to be. It's like imagining that our dreams have already come true. Now, this might sound a little strange at first. After all, if our desires haven't come true yet, how can we act like they have? But here's the thing. Neville believed that by living in the end, we actually make it easier for our desires to come true. So how do we do it? Well, it's all about visualization. We close our eyes and imagine ourselves in the future, living the life we want. Maybe it's getting that dream job, or finding that special someone, or finally feeling happy and fulfilled. Whatever it is, we picture it as vividly as we can, and we really feel what it would be like to have it. But here's the key, we don't just do this once, and then forget about it. We make it a regular practice, something we do every day. By constantly visualizing our desires as if they've already happened, we start to shift our perspective. We stop focusing on what we don't have and start focusing on what we do have. And the more we do it, the more real it starts to feel. It's like we're training our brains to expect our desires to come true. And when our brains expect something to happen, they're more likely to make it happen. But it's not just about visualization. It's also about feeling. We have to really feel what it would be like to have our desires come true. Maybe it's the excitement of achieving a goal, or the joy of being surrounded by loved ones. Whatever it is, we have to let ourselves feel it fully, as if it's happening right now. This might sound a little strange, but it's actually really powerful. When we embody the reality of our desires, we make it easier for them to manifest in our lives. We start to attract the things we want because we're already living as if we have them. However, even with the knowledge of these teachings, many struggle to manifest their desires. This is often due to the lack of consistency and discipline in their practice. Manifestation requires dedication and persistence. It is not enough to dabble in visualization or meditation sporadically. We must make it a daily habit. To break free from these detrimental habits, we must cultivate new ones that align with Neville's teachings. We must commit to daily practices that reinforce our assumptions and beliefs. This includes setting aside time for visualization, meditation, and self-reflection. Moreover, we must be mindful of our thoughts and feelings throughout the day. Are they in alignment with our desires? Or are they perpetuating old patterns of lack and limitation? By consciously choosing our thoughts and redirecting them when necessary, we can steer ourselves towards our desired reality. Neville talked a lot about something called revision. It's like rewriting a story, but in our minds. Here's how it works. We go back to a memory from the past, maybe something that didn't go so well. Instead of dwelling on the negative parts, we change the story. We make it positive. Think of it like editing a movie. If there's a scene we don't like, we can cut it out and replace it with something better. That's what revision does for our memories. It helps us let go of the bad stuff and focus on the good. But why does this matter? Well, our past experiences shape who we are today. If we're always thinking about the bad stuff that happened to us, it can hold us back. It can make us feel stuck, like we can't move forward. That's where revision comes in. By changing the story of our past, we change how we feel about it. Instead of feeling sad or angry, we feel happy and hopeful. And when we feel better about our past, we can start to see new possibilities for our future. But how do we do it? It's actually pretty simple. We just need to close our eyes and imagine the memory as we want it to be. Maybe we imagine ourselves succeeding where we once failed, or finding happiness where we once felt sadness. The key is to really feel the new version of the memory, as if it's happening right now. Neville had another big idea. He talked about something called naturalness. It's all about how we feel about our desires. Imagine this: you want something really badly, like a new job or a happy relationship. Instead of feeling desperate or anxious about it, Neville said we should act as if we already have it. Think about it like this: when you're thirsty, you don't worry about whether or not you'll get a drink of water. You just know it'll happen, right? That's the feeling Neville wanted us to have about our desires. Instead of stressing about whether they'll come true, we should just feel like they're already on their way. So how do we do this? It's all about changing our mindset. Instead of focusing on what we don't have, we focus on what we do have. We act as if our desires are already here, even if they're not. This might sound a little strange at first, but it's actually really powerful. When we embody the feeling of naturalness, we eliminate any resistance that might be blocking our desires from coming true. We stop worrying about whether or not they'll happen, and instead, we just trust that they will. But how do we actually embody this feeling? Well, it starts with gratitude. We take a moment to appreciate everything we already have in our lives. Maybe it's a supportive friend or a roof over our heads. Whatever it is, we focus on the good stuff, not the stuff we're missing. Next, we imagine what it would feel like to have our desires already fulfilled. Maybe it's the excitement of starting a new job or the warmth of being in a loving relationship. Whatever it is, we let ourselves feel it fully, as if it's happening right now. And finally, we let go of any doubts or fears that might be holding us back. We trust that the universe has our back and that our desires are on their way to us. We stop trying to force things to happen and instead, we just go with the flow. In the journey of making things happen, there's one big secret: creating habits that help us. To really make our dreams come true, We need to build habits that work for us, not against us. This is where Neville Goddard's teachings come in. By following what Neville teaches and making it a part of our everyday lives, we can change things for the better. It's all about doing it regularly, every single day. Let's break it down. Neville's teachings are like a map, showing us how to get where we want to go. But to use this map effectively, we have to walk the path it lays out for us. That means taking what Neville says and turning it into actions we do every day. It's like planting seeds in a garden. If we want beautiful flowers, we have to water them regularly. Same goes for our habits. Now, what are these habits we're talking about? Well, they're things like visualizing our goals, meditating on them, and really feeling what it would be like to have them. It's about training our minds to focus on the good stuff, not the bad. And it's about doing it consistently, day in and day out. But here's the thing, building new habits isn't always easy. Our brains like routines, even if they're not good for us. So when we try to change things up, our brains can push back. They'll try to convince us to go back to our old ways, even if they're not helping us reach our goals. That's why commitment is key. We have to stick to our new habits, even when it's hard. We have to remind ourselves why we're doing this and keep pushing forward, no matter what. And the more we practice, the easier it gets. Our brains are like muscles. The more we use them, the stronger they become. So the more we practice our new habits, the more they'll become second nature to us. Now, let's talk about the habits themselves. Neville talks a lot about visualization, seeing our goals in our minds as if they've already happened. This is a powerful tool for manifestation because it helps us focus our energy on what we want, not what we don't want. Meditation is another important habit. It helps us quiet our minds and connect with our inner selves. When we meditate regularly, we become more in tune with our desires and more open to receiving them. But perhaps the most important habit of all is belief. We have to truly believe that we can manifest our desires. We have to believe in ourselves and in the power of Neville's teachings. Without this belief, our efforts will be in vain. So how do we cultivate these empowering habits? It starts with setting aside time each day to focus on our goals. Whether it's first thing in the morning or right before bed, we have to make time for our new habits. And we have to stick to it, even when life gets busy. And these habits are indeed killing our manifestations, but they are not insurmountable. Through diligence, discipline, and a deep understanding of Neville's teachings, we can transcend these limitations and create the life of our dreams. It is up to us to take action and embody the change we wish to see in our lives. And of course, that takes some time. Also, finding the right technique for you is like finding your secret path to success. You have to stick with it for a while. You have to see if it fits with your personality or your dreams. Every one of us is made differently. We all have our own talents, choices, and quirks, so of course, we are going to be inclined toward different manifestation techniques. It's your choice to choose whatever method or path you want to take to reach your desires. But all I say is that please commit to it with your heart and soul. Take it one day at a time and see what is going wrong. Fix the mistakes you are making and make the technique as customized as possible. The more customized the manifestation method will be, the greater will be your confidence in your ability to manifest. The techniques and methods I share on this channel can help you take a massive start in your manifestation journey. By knowing the rationale behind each technique, you get an idea of what to expect. Still, the work needs to be done by you. The work is to stay true to your method for an extended period of time. Give it all your time and devotion, so that you can see amazing results. And don't ever give up. People say that manifesting doesn't work because they just give up too soon. They are not patient enough to see it through. And one more thing, when I say you have to be patient with your manifesting, doesn't mean you have to wait for years and decades. No, we are not playing by the rules of the 3D world here. This is a magical realm of creation. Maybe you only need a few weeks to manifest your desire, or perhaps just 48 hours, but you have to stay patient in those hours. The moment you start thinking about why it hasn't come yet is the moment you start wavering in your faith, and that eventually leads to a grand failure. Now let's talk about keeping a manifestation journal to attract your desires. A manifestation journal is simply a journal that you can use to create your reality through your words. The moment you write about things you want, your attention goes to what you desire. And attention is the foundation of all creation. Once you give enough attention to your desire, you set the ball of momentum rolling in your favor. This is how a manifestation comes about. Keeping a manifestation journal also helps you release the emotions that were stuck in your awareness. A lot of times, we experience things in life that are not according to our choice and desires. These unfavorable circumstances leave an imprint on our psychology. And that imprint needs to be wiped out, or else it always interferes with the creative energy that flows through our body naturally. When you start journaling, you give your stuck emotions a safe passage or an outlet. Within just a few weeks of regular journaling, you start seeing that you are feeling lighter and less overwhelmed. Once you feel light and let go of the emotional baggage, you instantly become a much more powerful manifester. A manifestation journal can be incredibly important for you if you want to manifest money in abundance in your life. Manifesting money is a psychological game. You have to think of yourself as worthy of the money you desire. And that only stems from an abundance mindset. When you start journaling on a daily basis, you get to identify the lack or scarcity thoughts. Once you know that such thoughts are a part of your psychology, you can then take steps to fix them. A lot of people use their journaling time just to offer gratitude for things they have now and to offer gratitude in advance for the things they want to manifest in the future. This is a fantastic way to eliminate the scarcity mindset. If you are looking to manifest money or abundance, then you should definitely consider starting a gratitude journal. This means you should start your day by listing down things that you currently have in your life. When you do that, you ground yourself in the present moment, and the emotion of gratitude takes you out of the lack mentality. After offering thanks for the things you have, the next step is to offer gratitude for things or money you are trying to manifest. The idea is to immerse yourself in the feeling of having that money and wealth so that you can feel like you are in your future. This is very similar to embodying the state of the wish fulfilled taught by Neville Goddard. Another good way to make use of a manifestation journal is using it to keep a record of the things you have been manifesting. All of us are manifesting things one way or the other. We are manifesting all the time. Sometimes those manifestations are as subtle as finding a few dollars in your car, finding an empty seat on a busy subway, or just seeing your favorite bird after a long time. Life is full of synchronicities and magical moments. You need to have a journal where you write everything magical that happens to you. Do you know what purpose it will serve? It will help you get in a good mood instantly. Every time you revisit those pages and manifestations, you will realize that you have the power to create anything. So this journal will be a reminder of your ability to create. Also, we tend to forget so many good things that happen to us during the day, because our minds have been conditioned to look for the negative things first. Over time, the things that go wrong become our center of attention, simply because our minds have been trained that way. But if you start keeping a record of all the good things that happen to you and your little manifestations, you will have proof that amazing things can happen to you too. In fact, on any given day more good things happen to you than bad. It's just because we are so forgetful of the good that we start creating a rather pessimistic view of our life. Whenever you start a manifestation journal, make sure you have a clear vision of what you want in your life. What do you want in terms of your health and fitness? Do you want to lose weight or get in better shape? Then think about what you want in your relationships, especially the intimate relationship with your partner. Have you found the person you were looking for, or do you want to manifest them? What kind of relationship do you want to create, and what kind of life do you want to live with your special someone? Then write about money. How much money do you want to attract? I say attract because you don't necessarily have to earn that money. It can come to you in 1,000 different ways. Just get clear on what kind of wealth you want to have. What kind of lifestyle you the most. You must have a strong desire to live that kind of life. Once you are clear about what you want to manifest in every major area of your life, only then should you start journaling. That is why I always give people the advice to get super clear about the kind of life they want to live and only then employ a manifestation method or technique. Your life vision will be a magnet that will pull you toward your dreams and goals, so make sure you work on it first. The words we use shape our reality and attract similar energy to us. Therefore, it's crucial to be mindful of the words we use and the energy we emit through them. Our words have the power to influence our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and they create an energy that attracts like energy. To attract more positivity and abundance into our lives, we need to use words that convey those things. We need to replace negative, limiting beliefs with positive affirmations, and focus on what we want to attract rather than what we want to avoid. By doing so, we create an energy that aligns with our desires and attracts similar energy to us. The language we use has a profound impact on our subconscious mind. The words we use on a daily basis become deeply ingrained in our subconscious and shape our beliefs, habits, and ultimately our reality. Therefore, it's crucial to be mindful of the words we use and the messages we send to our subconscious mind. By being intentional with our language, we can reprogram our subconscious mind to think positively and attract positivity into our lives. Conversely, if we constantly use negative language, we can reinforce negative beliefs and attract negative experiences. To take control of our lives and shape our reality, we must pay attention to the language we use and feed our subconscious mind with positive affirmations and messages. The main goal of reciting affirmations is to send a message to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind doesn't have the ability to reject or say no to the commands we give it. It can only accept and act upon the messages we send. Unfortunately, many of us have programmed our subconscious minds with negative thoughts and ideas about ourselves and our lives. However, we have the power to reprogram our subconscious minds by using affirmations. By using positive affirmations, we can rewire our brains to think positively and attract positive experiences and opportunities. It's essential to understand that the words we use can shape our lives. We can attract more positivity and abundance into our lives by using affirmations and altering our thought patterns. By becoming more mindful of our words and using affirmations, we can take control of our lives and create the future we desire. So, now that we understand the power of words, how can we use affirmations to transform our lives? The process is simple, but requires dedication and consistency. To transform our lives and reprogram our subconscious minds, we need to begin by identifying the negative beliefs and thoughts that we have about ourselves and our lives. These limiting beliefs may hold us back from reaching our full potential and living the life we desire. Identifying these negative thoughts is the first step in creating positive change in our lives. Once we have identified these negative beliefs, we need to create positive affirmations that counteract them. For example, if we believe that we are not good enough, we can create an affirmation that says, "I am worthy and deserving of all good things." By repeating this affirmation several times a day, we can see that we are not good enough. By repeating this affirmation several times a day, we can start to reprogram our subconscious mind to believe in our worth and value. It's important to make these affirmations specific and focused on the areas we want to improve in our lives. We can use affirmations to counteract negative thoughts about our health, relationships, finances, and any other area of our lives that we want to improve. If you believe that you are not good enough, create an affirmation that says, "I am worthy and deserving of all good things." Repeat this affirmation to yourself several times a day until it becomes a habit. Remember to use the present tense and make your affirmation specific and focused. Repetition and emotion are two powerful tools that can help us reprogram our subconscious mind and attract positive experiences into our lives. When we repeat positive affirmations with enough emotion and conviction, our subconscious mind accepts them as truth and starts to act upon them. The reason behind this is that the subconscious mind doesn't have the ability to reject or say no to the commands we give it. It can only accept and act upon the messages we send. Therefore, when we send positive messages through positive affirmations, our subconscious mind starts to accept them as truth and makes them true in the physical world. It's important to note that the subconscious mind is somehow intertwined with the holographic matrix we live in. This means that the things we believe to be true will be manifested in the physical world, as the universe will move heaven and earth to make our beliefs come true. In other words, our beliefs and thoughts have the power to shape our reality. If we believe in lack and limitation, we are more likely to experience these things. But if we believe in abundance and success, we are more likely to attract these things into our lives. Using affirmations can be a powerful tool for reprogramming your subconscious mind and creating the life you desire. By incorporating affirmations into your daily routine, you can shift your thought patterns and attract more positivity and abundance into your life. Taking control of our subconscious mind is crucial, because if we don't, something or someone else will control it for us. It's the responsibility of every individual to monitor the words they use and feed their subconscious mind with positive affirmations. When we learn to control our subconscious mind, we can change our reality and create the life we desire. When we start standing on our affirmations as if they are true, even before they are, and mix that with conviction and emotion and repetition, it becomes true for us because the subconscious mind accepts it as truth. These are simple but powerful tools that can help us transform our lives. It's important to pay attention to our self-talk and ensure that we are kind and generous to ourselves. The language we use to speak inside of ourselves becomes our outward experience, and our self-talk becomes our destiny. We have the power to change our reality by changing the words we use and the thoughts we entertain. As the ancient wisdom goes, life and death is in the power of the tongue. We must master the rules of taming the tongue and use our words wisely because we are always in the driver's seat of our lives. Starting our affirmations in the present tense is crucial because the subconscious mind doesn't understand the past or future. It only knows now. While it may take bravery to say that we are something before we actually are, it's the brave who change the world. It's essential to believe in what we are saying, and to use affirmations consistently to reprogram our subconscious minds. Using affirmations can help us attract more positivity and abundance into our lives. By becoming more mindful of the words we use and the thoughts we entertain, we can take control of our lives and create the future we desire. It's our responsibility to monitor what we say and feed our subconscious mind with positive affirmations. This is the first and crucial part of the process. Let me tell you that if you want to control others, learn to control your mind because it's your mind that controls everything, including everyone's attitude. Nothing can happen without your consent. What's important to understand is that you are the observer and others are the mirror, so they are just reflecting back to you. You see, one person has a different attitude toward others. Let's take the example of a boy who is just 15 years old. What do you think would be his attitude toward his teacher? What would be his attitude toward his parents? What would be his attitude toward his close friends? Of course, he will have a different attitude toward different kinds of people, and it doesn't depend on who he is. But his attitude and behavior depend on who others are. Look at yourself for a while. Do you have the same attitude toward all the people around you? Do you react to all situations in the same way? No, you have different attitudes and different thoughts and opinions for different situations, people, and occasions. What I'm trying to explain to you is that the attitude of others doesn't depend on who they are or what sort of mindset they have. Their attitude can always be changed. Just change the situation and their attitude will change. Just change the scenario and circumstances, and their attitude will change. However, if you want to change their attitude toward you, you've got to change yourself. Because their attitude toward you is a reflection of who you are. Their attitude towards a particular scenario is a reflection of what the scenario is. Their attitude and reaction towards a particular scene or towards some particular circumstances is an explanation of what the scene or circumstances are. Let me tell you that everything in the universe is a stimulus. Your existence is a stimulus because when people see you, when they come in contact with you, or when they talk to you, some thoughts are generated automatically in their minds depending upon who you are. What your attitude is, what you do, what your religion is, what your background is, and everything else that defines you. In other words, the attitude of others depends on your reality, and to change theirs, you have got to change your own. That's simple. If the behavior and attitude of others towards you aren't fair, don't blame them. If they don't treat you the way you want, don't blame them. But instead, blame yourself, blame your reality, and blame everything that defines who you are. When we talk about changing someone, it's not really about changing them, but about changing how we perceive them. Well, the fact is that the things, people, and everything that exists around us has no meaning. It's our perception that defines them. It's also important to understand how they show up in your life, and what role they play in it. How do they impact your life, and what do they cause you? You know, Neville Goddard says that you are the operant power and the creator. Nothing in this universe happens against your wish. The role others play in your life is one you assign to them. You allow them to affect your life the way they are affecting mine. You can always make a change. You can always assign them a different role to play in your life since you are operating them. Let's now discuss what the practical steps are to change them or their attitude toward us.